Thank you for staying with us. When truth sleeps, lies wear the crown. But time, like dawn, never fails to unmask the night. Some weeks ago on this show, we brought you a story that stirred emotions across the nation. A man accused of the unthinkable, defiling his 2- and 5-year-old daughters. It was a tale that broke hearts, ignited outrage, and left many questioning the moral decay of our time. But today the clouds have cleared and truth has spoken. The man once condemned in whispers and headlines has been vindicated. Medical examinations have now revealed that the children were never violated, and in a stunning twist, the wife has confessed, admitting she fabricated the story to destroy her husband's reputation after a domestic misunderstanding. She has since been charged to court for defamation, her web of lies now a matter before the law. So this morning we ask, how on earth does a spouse fabricate something so cruel, so destructive? Can there ever be any justification for such a heartless act? What drives a person to weaponize trust and turn love into a tool of vengeance? When lies travel faster than truth, who heals the scars left on the innocent? And beyond the court's verdict, can a man ever truly recover from a wound that pierced not his body, but his name and his soul? What can be done to stop false accusations from ruining someone's reputation, especially when they spread like wildfire online? Ladies, what were your initial thoughts when you heard this news, when you got the new update that story we first took with, such so emotion that maybe wasn't completely true?
I was upset. I was upset because we have sat here and we've seen how women are being treated in many things, different aspects of life, whether it's marriage and all of that. And we sit here and we speak up for women. We have heard different domestic abuse issues where women have been killed, and we sit here and we cry out for women. Now to hear that the same species that we speak out for, we cry to the heavens for, that this injustice is too much. How do we have a level playing ground that everybody is treated well? We'll cook up something like this because you have an issue with your husband and want to damage him like this. That was very wicked, as far as I'm concerned. And it brings to mind when, sometimes when you want to fight for a woman and people are saying, please, is it not you people? Is it not the things you do? You don't know what exactly is happening. It doesn't give us that moral justification to now say this is wrong and this is right with actions like this. And this is not the first time. I'm happy she's been, arrested. It happened, I think, in one other country. We took it a few months back where the same thing happened. This particular man went to jail for, I think, about 10 years. Lost his life, his dreams, his aspirations, everything was gone for 10 years. The mother had even died. The woman that framed him had died. It was the daughter who was now of age who came and confessed that my mother asked me to lie, against my father for whatever reason. This has got to stop. If you have domestic violence issues in your marriage, carry your bag and go. Go back to your father's house. Go back to your relative's house. Get people to understand that I can no longer stay in this marriage. This is no longer the time where people would insist that you stay in the marriage. Our mother's times, they will say, find a way to work it. Don't worry, as he's getting older, he will stop beating you. He will stop. But we have seen a number of deaths that show us that if it happens that you are being violated in your marriage, you are being abused in your marriage, you are being beaten black and blue on a daily basis in your marriage, instead of you to lose your life, pack your things and leave the marriage. We have also gotten to a place in the society where marriage is not the be-all, every-all. No more. People are actually happy living single. People are making it living single. People are having a blast. In fact, there's a research, and I mentioned it, I think it was on Saturday, where people are coming out to say that if you compare married women and single women, that single women live longer. They look better. Do you know the stress of being in a marriage, a healthy marriage? There's stress, whether you accept it or not, whether you're in a blissful marriage or not. We're in a blissful marriage here, by the grace of God, on this table. But there's stress. There's a stress of keeping the home. There's a stress of attending to your husband. There's a stress of taking care of the children. There's a wear and tear on your body as a woman. Not to talk of being in a relationship that is violent, where you're constantly in anxiety. whether it's physical violence, financial violence, emotional violence, you're constantly in anxiety. You're walking on eggshells in the house.
Okay.
There's a lot it does to your mental health and to your overall well-being. There's stress in that. Now, to add violence into that mix, it's better that you leave. Nobody will insult you tomorrow. And even if they insult you, you shouldn't care.
Okay.
But to lie on a man, lie with the man's children, that's even...
Really?
No. That woman should be prosecuted like very fast. They should not extend the case so that we don't have prerogative of
I hear you,
in the next 2 years.
I hear you, Obiajulu. The only thing I'm a bit uncomfortable with is you made it about the gender. It's not about a person.
This
Some
one
people
now.
are
No,
just
no,
women.
let's stop this
Let's
one.
stay where we
Gender
are.
now.
All right.
Let's stay where we are. You people can do a
Off you
balance, but it's gender.
Yeah.
You know, because I was on the table when the matter broke that the man had defiled his 2 daughters. Of course, it was a man, and the sexual nature of the abuse was 2 girls. We went on girl rights advocacy. I sat here. I talked about how the woman was the hero for, for coming out, for not protecting her marriages. So we went gender side. And so now that it's gender side, we cannot be seen to be jumping to the balance side. Then we'll stay here. Let's stay here first. And I remember saying it when we were saying, were there traditional ways this were handled? Okay. And I was saying to talk with them that, yes, they used to escort a man of this kind of nature of abuse in those days into the evil forest, he no go return. Okay. The wife would know, the village would know, but the children would never know. And this had been handled, the way that, they could handle it. And then I remember saying that, but because women were now falsely accusing, it was important that trials were now held. And this was now, extended for long, that the stigma would stick with the children. I remember saying that on the show, only for us to wake up this morning and that happened, that become the reality of this case in question. This woman decided to leave a stigma, whether of the sexual nature of the crime or that of the false accusation on her children. I don't understand how people are wired. You have been, whatever, I don't even believe that any case that she's giving out, any excuse that she's giving out for coming out to falsely accuse her husband using our children is tenable. She should not even be allowed to have an excuse. Social memory is long. We know they forget something. Hey, that those children, their father abused them. Now those children, their mother lie for their father head, take abuse. The stigma will follow them to school, amongst their friends. It will blur the line for these children's, their sense of security is completely blurred, because as a parent, you should have your words and your bond policy that your kids will see you do. They will trust, they will follow that example in society, or else there's a problem. You have just created a problem to society, because when they now grow up, they think, no, that one is now small, near the interrogations that the police had to put these kids through. Hey, repetition of the trauma. Did your daddy touch you? How did he touch you? The test in call. You cooked this up and thought it would end in your flat.
Jesus.
You sat down, cooked this up, and thought it would end in your flat. But now, it's not a Nigerian matter. It's an international reference. Right. You did not think it. These kids would have been interrogated, tested, taken back and forth, missed life. You were harming your husband with a sword, cutting yourself more than, and your kids more than you did. Yeah. I don't want to believe anything went wrong in that. I just believe that this was a very terrible, vicious, insensitive, wicked somebody. Now witch. And this guy, because not be witch where they fly. Of our nature of Edo women. It's not them that are witches. This kind of one, the afternoon time, daylight witchcraft. You sat down, you cooked this, you did not think of the repercussion on your children. You saw them coming to rescue them, take the kids away from their dads. Where did you think they were taking them to? What kind of questions did you think they were being asked? And they were 7 and 5, Abi?
Yes, 5 and 3.
2 and 5. Oh, yes.
5 and 3.
5 and a 5-year-old.
You allowed that.
Ramatu.
Yeah, so when I heard the story, the first thing that came to my mind, when they brought out the final result, and they were like, I was like, what was going on? Like, what happened? What was going on in that marriage? We had to sit down and cook this type of terrible thing, because it's a grave allegations that you can, put on your husband. I sat down and I was just thinking, I was like, what could have happened? What is it? What is he doing to her that's made her to bring up these lies? And sex allegations is a very serious one on men. I don't know why that is the only thing that most women use when they want to accuse their husbands or anything, if they are, or, you know, those kind of things. I don't know why that is what they use.
Is it a common
because that thing, because that thing, as now, as the husband is now, she has already, I think she has destabilized him for life. No matter what they do, the guy will never, he will never feel himself again because she has destroyed that. There's that thing inside of him that she has destroyed permanently. And I'm happy with the fact that the way they handle the case, at least they investigate. Even some people, they'll just believe the story, just like the way we believed at first. You know, we just believe the story, and thank God they still went ahead to investigate to find out. You know, they even had to use, because sometimes kids can not, sometimes they may not say the right thing. Like you said 5 and 3. I can imagine how you'd be asking a 3-year-old person, did your father touch you? Did he do this? Did he do that? You know? And I can imagine she won't respond properly. So I'm happy with the fact that they even had to go to the hospital to do tests to find out that this is what he has done wrong. And thank God now she has been arrested. But another thing is, they need to find out from her what made her, like what drove that, what made her take that decision on, you know, to say this about her husband.
You know,
because this thing destroys men a lot.
So obviously, from our initial thoughts, we feel definitely this was, I mean, honestly, I can't even put into words how I truly feel about this new update. But she's being charged to court. That means she has the right to defend herself and give reasons why she did what she did, or to say it did not happen. And so it makes me question the type of investigations that we have. At first, we heard a story and we ran with it. Do you understand? And then further investigation was done, and now we hear that there's a new update. Are we going to run with it, or are we going to? No. So okay, are we going to wait to confirm that this was investigation? Because I can imagine a lawyer, I'm so happy that you're here. The lawyer saying this was an investigation that was gotten under duress. That's not what she meant. She was misconstrued, all these sort of things.
That's what I wanted to do. So the nature of this crime in question is evidence-based.
Okay.
A rape, abuse of children or any human being, a rape kit will be used, observation will be done. On the first instance, I mentioned some of these bodies that, you know, are legitimately recognized by government, you know, who take the samples which we rely on. Whether a semen is found in the children, whether the children shows that they have been violated, all of those things. So these are evidence-based. But initially what broke out was that he was caught abusing his children, and that account can only come from a witness account, which was the wife, insisting he had abused his children. So that's where we ran with it. But this account of her confessing cannot come out because, you know, just because she has confessed. It will come out because the evidence that was required for a prosecution had failed. They checked the children and they did not have any signs of being abused. They were intact. There was no specimen of him or bodily fluid or anything found on the children. Then they will start investigating. So why did we scream that they were abused? And then they will rely on the witness account. Again, madam account.
Is that not where the problem is? So let me add to what you have just said. When you get a case reported, right, and the witness comes to say, they came to my house, they broke in, they stole this, they stole that, they stole this. What I see is that we are usually quick to go to the media, to table, this happened in so-so-so person's house, blah, 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 blah.
Exactly.
Then after properly investigating, so for some people, or for some cases, after that first media pronouncement, there's no investigation again. It closes the case. No, hold on now. It closes the case, and we don't hear anything again. Now, I don't know for whatever reason that made them continue to investigate after stating in the media that this happened. Because that shouldn't have come out in the media first without a proper investigation.
So let me explain.
Hold on now, let me finish what I'm trying to say. Because I feel that we are, as a system, I think it's the way our system is wired. We are usually very fast to say this and this is what happened without concluding the investigation. This should have been the news we'll be hearing. A woman accused the husband of defiling the 2 children. Investigations now showed that she was lying. This should have been the first case that would touch the newspapers if we are doing things the right way. So you can respond.
So before you respond, let's go on a short break. When we come back, we'll continue with our conversation. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thank you for staying with us. We're still discussing the man that had been accused of defiling his children and the new update that we have that may have just been lies by the wife.
So I was going to disagree with BC that this is not a systemic problem. Our system is not like this.
Okay.
So this news broke from a witness's account. Somebody in the building who had said a man who had been abusive of his children. When the police were invited, that person was the camera angle. It was not any media, and it wasn't the police parading this man. The police never paraded the man. Check through the videos. You won't find a police parade of the man, because they will not, in this kind of nature of crime, parade ordinarily. You will see most of sexual natured abuse like this of underage. Usually the underage are protected along with the abuser. Only sexual records of convicts can reveal the personalities. That's one. So this angle broke from a amateur camera view.
Yes.
Eyewitness account. So that's why it came public.
Okay.
And because of the kind of sensational thing that it was, of course everybody would run and jump and get an opinion. Now, till now, even with the woman, the police still did not really reveal an account. It's because she's not been charged, and there are reporters at the court who are saying, oh, there's a new angle to this, that this broke on Twitter as well. And the police did not even reveal the personality of the woman until somebody had to go and do their own investigative journalism. Some Kemiolu lawyers had to dig it and find the woman and put the picture out there. And so that's how, it's not our system. Our system, as bad as we think it is, is,
So I'm happy to put that out of the way and let us just even discuss how does a woman, do you think it's a mental health issue? What level of emotional issue she must be enduring to come up with such a lie? I first did not want to make it a gender issue, but people said I should make it a gender issue. Yes. So the woman, what could she possibly be going through to have her tell such a lie about her husband?
Honestly, that was one thing. When I saw that story, that was the first thing that came to my mind. Like, what's happening? Like, what is it that made her to do, use his children against him? It was I sat down and I thought, okay, what could be happening in that house? Is that he hits her? Even if he hits her, do you understand? It's not enough for you to use your children and everything. Because I remember there was this story I heard, I saw on TV. The guy, they were in a party. I think he was 13 years or so. Okay. They were at a party, and then all of a sudden a lady came out and accused him of raping her. Do you know that, of course, because she was 13, they didn't do, I think they did, they investigated and did everything, and they found out that, yes, there was really something going on. But the guy said it was a consensual, it was not rape. It was an agreed stuff that they did, but she insisted that it was rape. They didn't investigate deep. They just carried the guy and, jailed him. The guy came out after how many years? And when he came out, in fact, it was not yet time for him to come out. He came out after 8 years. I think he was supposed to spend 14 years in prison. And then he came out after 8 years. The reason why he came out was because she confessed and said it was a lie. Meanwhile, the guy that already spent 8 years in jail. By the time he came out, he was how old? And then, she came and they brought them on the show, and she came and she was apologizing to him. He has spent the most fruitful part of his life in jail.
Let me even say
it was America.
It was America.
Yes, so that's the flawed justice system you wanted to example.
So it was a serious thing. So at the end of the day, he must have spent a number of years. Okay, you have a call.
I have a call. Oh, so sorry. I think I should rephrase my question. Let me start also by giving this context. I think last week I took a story in the papers of a woman who had kidnapped herself, a wife, and sent a kidnap note to her husband demanding ransom. So what I'm asking is, what is the state of mental affairs in the world today, in Nigeria today, that we're not talking of outsiders, we have husband and wives, or wives doing to their husbands, or husband doing to their wives, this sort of
evil-minded people.
So, it is an anomaly for a woman to bear children and not think of their well-being in her actions. That's not the norm. There's a part of scripture that says, can a woman forsake her children? Even if a woman can, God will not. That tells you that it's very difficult for a woman to forsake her children. Forsaking does not necessarily mean running away and leaving them behind. This is a form of forsaking, where you're plotting, you're taking actions without considering the consequences and the impact, the negative impact on your children, it is not normal. So we have many people who are mad, just a few are without clothes. Many people are actually working with heavy mental issues that they are not aware of. Maybe they don't have the awareness to even know that there's something wrong with them. And you see that in their interactions. And that's why we always advise people, say, marry a kind person. It's very important because anything can happen in the future. But when that person is a good person and a kind person, they will consider you. And even if they don't consider you, they will consider the children that they have birthed. Because it's every woman has unconditional love for their children. I'm not even talking about the man now.
Yeah. That's unconditional women.
Yes.
Who can love their kids.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So this one falls under the category of that abnormal woman who cannot love anything but herself. So
is this abnormal woman born or is she made?
No. So you know they are different. I don't want to go into deep psychology.
Something
yes,
I know what I'm saying. Something about mental health.
Yes,
that's what I'm asking.
So some are made, and some are they are predominantly made. A few are born. I don't know how, but there's a way science has explained how some people are born. You know, some people are born without empathy. But there are few in the world, right? So many people are made based off of what they have received growing up as children. They could have been born to narcissistic parents, and then every narcissistic parent has children that are narcissistic. So they are split like this. Some will be narcissistic, majority. Then maybe one will be, would have, what's this one? The opposite of narcissism. We usually say is empathy, but there's what they call those people, where you can take in everybody's emotion, is a form of dysregulation
let me even
as well.
I know we can go as deep as and make that a whole topic. But I'm asking, the reason I'm asking this, because mental health is so important. And usually when we talk about picking our partners, we're talking about red flags. What you will show me that one day down the line, my wife will kidnap herself and say that I should send ransom, or that you would accuse me of such a heinous crime as this. What are the things that I need to look out for?
So watch how they treat people, when they are happy with the people, when they are sad with the people, when they're falling out of a relationship with the people. I mentioned here there was a time I had a friend in NYSC, right? And there was a rat that was disturbing the compound, coming to eat our foodstuffs and everything. And then finally he caught this rat. And he did not just kill the rats and dump the rats. He tied the rat, hung it, and decided to kill it gradually. Like every day he would come there, he would choke something, he would come there, he would do this. I could see a deliberate, the look in his face when he's dealing with the rat, where the rat is shrieking, and he's excited. I knew that this person is a wicked person. Getting into a relationship with such a person, now rat you do now. Tomorrow he will be upset with you. You will get something. So those signs are visible there if we pay attention.
Let's go on a short break. When we come back, we'll continue with our conversation. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.